Hello, good morning, good evening, good afternoon, whatever time it is. My name is Dr. Erica Steele. I'm a board certified naturopathic doctor, otherwise a holistic doctor, because I have lots more education than just that. And welcome to my channel. So, if you are interested in all things holistic health, holistic medicine, public health policy, and really understanding the profession, definitely like, share, subscribe, and comment. I get definitely inspiration from all of you. And thanks so much for all of the kind words and support over the years. I really appreciate it. So, today's topic is the quick fix dilemma and why patients abandon their treatment plans. So, I've seen this phenomenon go on for years and years and years, and it always fascinates me. So I really wanted to look at the research, see what the research says, to help me to better understand. Okay, so I'm sure we've all, been here before with the quick fix dilemma. So first off, let's define this quick fix culture because we're all prey to it, right? We want to lose 20 pounds in however many days. We want to take a pill for every ill. Oh, I have this problem. Let me just take this really quick so I can keep going. Oh, I don't have time, to take a rest day. I need to keep going. Or oh, little Bobby needs X, Y, and Z. I don't have time for me, right? This all plays into this quick fix culture. It is to pretty much self abandon, not take care of self, break down, and not prioritize self. And that type of culture keeps us sick. So what happens is we neglect, ignore till the point that our bodies are breaking down and our bodies are telling us, look, we can't do this anymore. And because we want to keep going and we have that mindset, I just need to fix this. There's something wrong with me. There's something wrong with me. I mean, literally, I feel like out of the womb, we come out with thinking that there's something wrong with us. I kid you not. Because we're constantly chasing this fear of I'm not good enough, or this fear that I need to fix something, right? Instead of taking a step back and going, okay, how do I prioritize self? What are my foundational health pieces? What do I need to do in order to prevent instead of react? Because that's what this quick fix culture is. It's all about reaction. It's all about it's anxiety, right? So let's talk about that. Health anxiety, impulsive decision making, it's quick, it's in a hurry. Oh, let me go grab this. Oh, let me go grab that. Oh, let me, and so what really prompted me is I have a lot of patients. I mean, everybody, we're all indoctrinated into this quick fix culture. So, we come into a practice like mine with this mindset, right? Even though we are, even though we, are looking for a root cause solution. We want to get to the bottom of it. We want to change our lifestyle. We want to get to the root cause. Like, that's said all the time. Oh, I'm tired of conventional practice. I'm tired of this diagnose and manage model. I'm tired of taking all of these supplements. I'm tired of taking all these medications. So then you come into a holistic practice still with that same mindset, but wanting me to treat you from a natural perspective, and it doesn't translate. That quick fix culture belongs to conventional practice. They're really good at that. It's all patchwork, acute care, heroic measures, save you at all costs. Oh, I've got this symptom, take this. You got them symptom, take that. You got this symptom, take this. You got this symptom, take this. Take this symptom just in case you don't get this symptom. That's that quick fix culture. And so you want to bring that mindset and that culture into a holistic practice, that honors yourself, that slows you down, that gets you thinking about your decision making, that gets you thinking about your emotional reactions and responses and why they may be, that gets you thinking about what your actions are, your daily actions that are either building disease or building health. That is a choice unconsciously and consciously that you're making every single day. And so there is not enough health responsibility to the patient. It's just the patient is neglecting, and now they've broken themselves down, and now they're anxious. There's something wrong. I need to fix it. I need to fix it. And so then they come to a provider because they clearly it hasn't worked, and so they come to the provider going, help me, and it's this frantic health anxiety that puts this pressure on me as a provider. I'm not a savior, and I will never put myself, I don't want your power. So what may seem like being dismissive is actually the highest form of respect that one can be given, because I'm going to allow you to sit with the discomfort. I'm going to point out to you when you are not living in alignment of a holistic lifestyle. I'm going to point out to you when you are allowing your anxiety to take over and you are not looking at your thoughts, looking at your emotions, looking at the physical impact that these things have on your body. I'm not going to allow you to neglect your water, your food, your daily meditation, all that stuff for a supplement or a lab test, because you think that impulse, because that anxiety, that fear is something's wrong. I need to make this better. So clearly I'm not doing something. So I'll kind of, bring in a personal anecdote in my world, right? So I struggle with what we call mother hunger. And if you're not familiar with this work, look up Kelly McDaniel. She's the one who did this. And so mother hunger is it's lack of nurturance as a child. So my mother didn't get nurturance, so she of course couldn't give nurturance. And so, here it is. And I've worked on this piece of myself to give myself nurturance and teach myself self-soothing and connect and heal my inner child and all the things, right? But even with a daily practice, if I've had a difficult or challenging and emotional day, I will still have a sensation to, and I'll wake up like early, like soup, because I kind of wake up throughout the night. And so, I'll wake up at like 2 or 3 in the morning, and I'll get some water or go to the bathroom, and I'll want this lack of nurturance I'll feel, and I'll want to like get a snack, right? There's no reason why I need to be getting a snack at 2 or 3 in the morning, other than the fact that this is a lack of nurturance and a lack of comfort, right? So, and knowing from the Chinese time clock, right, that's all my liver, that's resentment, that's anger, from the past. I struggle because of experiencing trauma. I struggle with letting go of that resentment, that hurt, because my mind could not make sense emotionally what was happening physically to my body. So that misalignment, mind, emotional, and physical body created all this dissonance, right? This neurodivergence, right? Sound familiar? And so when I go in, right, and I'm working with myself, right, I'm aware of this low level anxiety within myself, right? And again, there is degrees of that. I've deconstructed to that point. There used to be anxiety, like physical anxiety, to the point that I could not function unless I was taking a synthetic, and I had to do that just for a couple years while I wouldn't do an SSRI, but I did an anti-anxiety med while I was doing some deep, psychological work, while I was doing some deep neurofeedback, neurostim, while I was doing clinical hypnotherapy, while I was doing EMDR and various different behavioral modalities in biofeedback and neurofeedback to retrain my traumatized brain. Right? So there's a lot of nuance to treating human beings. There's complexity. And conventional medicine, because it separates out the body, the mind, the emotional health, the physical health, because it separates everything out, it creates just a confusion in clinical decision making. And in holistic medicine, we look at the relationship that one thing has to another. So we have to take a step back. We can't be reactive. If you're reacted, you can miss something, a very key clue. So, that show House, they always depict conventional doctors in this light, like they're sitting around thinking about cases and exploring. And I'm not saying that they don't, right? However, your standard primary care practice is not designed that way. Maybe a teaching hospital is designed that way because they have a structure for that, and they have a department for that, and they have, a whole preceptor department. There's administration behind that structure. Primary care doesn't have that structure, that system. That's not their role. Their role is really just to assess you quickly and get you, what you need, pharmacologically, surgically, procedurally, or referral. They're like Grand Central Station. And I don't mean to minimize their role, right? Because I know there are many primary cares that serve amazing roles for people's lives. However, the system, that's how it's designed. So that's, again, the thinking that we come in for. So, you're not getting the answers that you need, right, from providers, right? So let's say, you didn't get the answers from the conventional doctor, so you come to a holistic doctor. This holistic doctor isn't feeding into your health anxiety, isn't feeding into the need for, this impulsive decision making, right? Isn't feeding into that. So now you are in the sea of the internet, okay, with algorithms and sales pitches and, advertising dollars spent to really get in front of your eyeballs. And so there's lots of compelling psychological, ways and methods of advertising, right? And not to say that these are unethical methods, because they are very ethical if the person chooses to be ethical. But I've really, because I am a holistic doctor, not by I didn't just become what I am. I was born as I am, and I have literally manifested and evolved into. This is more of like a lotus flower blooming than more of, a transformation story. My quote unquote transformation story is really just been about me becoming and understanding deeply who I am, and bringing that consciousness to the world to teach other people. So it's a different mindset than I went to school for this. I often tell people I feel like my life is not my own. I feel like there was always there was always an anointing on my life, or there was always a mission on my life, or there was always something I felt that was very much bigger than me. That purpose that I had very young, I knew that very young. I knew I was going to be a doctor. I knew I was going to be an entrepreneur. And then I just began to discover and find these clues and pieces, and I was very much led and very much guided, right? So, and this is well before, the internet and all of this misinformation. So I learned from the source. I learned from books. I learned from the old way, where we really had to have an interest in something, and we immersed ourselves in whatever information was available to us at the time, which was heavily restricted. And so, much of the schooling that I went to, you still used very old text. So I had text from the 1800s. I had text from, when various pioneers were developing these things, finding these roots, and going to different, countries around the world and working with their local shamans who had no, medical education, no formal school education, but literally passed down medicines in their family systems for generations, and them being able to speak and know every nuance and every, just every chemical in this particular medicine. So in this world of misinformation, where everything is literally a soundbite, we want it to be a soundbite. We want it to be a 10-step list. We want it to be a, 3 steps to that. We don't want to do the hard work anymore. We want it all spoon fed to us. We want it all regurgitated to us. We want the bottom lines. But even when we're given the bottom lines, we don't want to do the work. What is the work? The work is not just, about you following the protocol, right? The work is the pain and the suffrage of letting go of that old identity that you created in order to survive life, and having the courage, the bravery, the strength, and the wisdom to gain to step into this new identity and this new life and this new way of being. Right? Stepping out of colonization and indoctrination in your healthcare and decolonizing your healthcare takes a lot of work, because it's not just like you are decolonizing. You know how, like, when you go into well, you may not know this, but if you've ever been to like rehab or something like that, or a mental health institution or any kind of institution, you are separated. You are put on a schedule. You have groups you have to attend. You have your own private therapy you have to go in. It's heavily structured. You are very limited as to your outside influence, phone calls, television, game. Everything is heavily scrutinized, right? That's the same. That's kind of the same mindset. It is. You have to go within, and you really have to limit your exposures to all the things. But you have to create that in a Western culture that's competing for not only your attention, but your power, your dollars, your conscious awareness. They want sheeple. They don't want people. They don't want people that are awake. They don't want people that are conscious. They don't want people that are healthy. They don't want people that know their worth, that prioritize themselves, that drink enough water, eat enough protein, are taking the right supplements to biohack their bodies so that they can, live healthier, happier, more productive lives. They don't want us to have afternoon siestas. They don't want us to have a family life. They don't want us to create a lifestyle that they want. They don't. They don't want any of that. They want subjugation and control, and they want you on the assembly line. Truly. And I don't care how fancy your assembly line is. I had pretty fancy assembly lines. My assembly line, I built from my scratch. It was beautiful. I picked out everything. I paid for everything. They didn't have to, do anything. I was a willing participant in the assembly line mentality. I bought into capitalism. I bought into the idea that I was better than, that I was superior than, that I knew better. Well, guess what, baby? The more pride you have, the harder you fall. The bigger you think you are, the harder you fall. It's deep levels of surrender that one must learn in order to heal, in order to continue to evolve internally. So this is not a matter of, am I taking the right supplement or am I doing the right test? Yes, that's a part of it. But that just scratches the surface, right? Because again, I set up these it doesn't take me long to build a 12-week protocol. I'll put together a 12-week protocol based off of your genetics, based off of your laboratory data, based off of your supplemental, data, based off your new data for days, thousands of data points. Bring them to me. I'll organize them, put them in, boxes, give you a 12-week plan, literally can break it down to you day by day, what you need to do. But that still does nothing for when you have to open up your phone every day, look at it, and make a decision as to whether you want to follow through with those calls to action. That's where the work happens. That's where it's a head and a heart and a physical battle. That's the shadow. That's the unconscious bias. That's the subconscious mind, right? And then what it does is that all of that thinking, that old thinking, is going to start showing up emotionally. Now you're anxious. Now you're frustrated. Now you don't think this is going fast enough. You start to doubt. And now you've got the internet, which is feeding you quick fix solutions. Oh, all you got to do is do these 3 steps. Oh yeah, well, if you just ask your doctor about this, you're getting bombarded with these messages all the time, and it's all different information. Why do you think that is? Why do you think you're constantly getting misinformation? To confuse you. It's designed to confuse you and doubt and question and not know the truth, so that eventually you give up in your pursuit and you just go crawling back to the conventional system like Oliver Twist saying, please, sir, can I have your latest and greatest, designer drug? I don't want to learn how to eat healthy and manage my blood sugars. I don't want to learn how to, have a healthier lifestyle and deal with my emotions that are driving, my behavior to, let's say, eat healthy and not work out. I don't want to deal with my unhealthy relationship that's driving my environment to not feel safe, that's causing me to self-neglect and self-abandon, that why I'm not eating, regularly, drinking regularly, and why I feel lethargic, burnout, and my hormones are a mess because I'm in a constant state of fight or flight. No, give me a pill for that, please, so I can keep my dysfunctional relationship. And so then when we start to unpack as holistic doctors and we start to pull up, oh, wait a second, this isn't working for you. This isn't working for you. This isn't working for you. Then all of a sudden you're aghast, clutch your pearls. Now I'm the bad guy. I'm the pariah when you came to me. How are you going to, like, I am not in a shortage of patients. Let me tell you, I turn down more patients than I take on. Why? Because I'm at a certain point in my career where I'm not interested in fighting you to help you. And I'm not interested in saving you from yourself. Right? I know we all want to believe that everyone that seeks help wants help, but let me tell you, there are what's called secondary gains, meaning there are certain people unconsciously that even though consciously they think they want help, what they really want is superiority. What they really want is subjugation. What they really want is an abusive relationship. What they really want is somebody to act out on. So what they really want is to be seen and heard. What they really want is to revert back to being that 5-year-old little girl who was injured or traumatized, and they want to literally just act like a 5-year-old. I mean, I'm not even joking. I have 45-year-old, highly accomplished people that literally overnight like turn into 4 or 5 years old and cannot be reasoned with. Why? Because of trauma response, right? And because of transference, I got this, earth mama energy, boy. Woo, you got mama issues, you got grandmama issues, you got women issues. Woo! You got powerful woman issues. You got matriarch issues, It's going to be and even the issues of a lack of nurturance, a lack of compassion. You're going to thrive, you're going to want my empathy. But guess what? My empathy's not for sale, my love. So, but my services are. And I know that's hard to hear because we want to for our pain to be empathized. But understand, if I empathize on your pain, you're going to stay stuck and you're never going to get well. I have to focus on the behaviors and help. Pretty much I'm going to trigger the fuck out of you because I'm going to call out your behaviors that are protecting your wounding. So I'm going to expose the wound. It doesn't mean I'm not going to help you to irrigate it and unpack it and patch it up spiritually, surgically speaking. I'm going to help you do that. Like I'm going to be right next to you, but I can't do the work. I can just instruct you. And that is part of the misinformation. And so again, charlatans get up on, because the health and wellness industry, it's crazy to even think it's an industry, because this was always a calling for me. This was always something that I was voluntold. I wanted to be a musician. I still am a musician, but like God was like, I hear you, but we have this. I hear you, but this is your path. I hear you. But yeah, I mean, like, for real. And then, because I was super, I thought I could buck the spiritual system. I was like, oh, okay, I'm out this thing. You think my life is not my own? You think I'm supposed to be of a service to mankind? You think I'm supposed to be a healer? You think I'm supposed to be this doctor? You think I'm supposed to shine this light on all this corruption and all this fear and all this subjugation? You want me to be the target? You want me to step out there and constantly be, catching strays, even when you're just doing random stuff? You want me to, oh, okay, yeah, no, so I'm good. I want peace. I want tranquility. I want to go to the bathroom without somebody knocking on the door. Dr. Steele, what do I do about my UTI? What? So guess what? Dr. Steele tried to buck the system. Dr. Steele said, okay, I'm not going to shut down the healthcare school. I'm not going to medical school. I'm going to music school. I'm going to, shut down my practice, leave my work. I'm going to send, my daughter to her dad to spend time while I go on this like pilgrimage in Hawaii to, write this album and find myself. And I'm just going to, do this thing, right? Yeah, so all this, and I had everything planned to the T, planned to like literally like leaving in a couple days till an unconscious bias, subconscious bias, right? And also God's path for me. No, no, no. That was one of many God's timeouts for me. And so I had to sit and think. And not only did I have to think, I ended up having a major accident. So I was in the conventional healthcare system as a patient, in pain, suffering, horrible, ineffectual, not listening, gaslit, not helpful, having to take my health in my own hands, like all the things. So I know it from all angles. It's not that I'm not empathetic and also not well experienced. It's just I don't need to go into every single lesson that I've been taught that has allowed me to be in the position that I am, to be able to teach the people that I am. Like I'm tired of having to fight against the misinformation. Sometimes you have to just allow information to just permeate. Maybe there's no response. Maybe there's just a sitting with. Maybe there's just a discovery. Maybe there's just an understanding. Maybe there's not all the answers. Maybe it's not time yet. Maybe we just need to be patient. Maybe we need to trust in God. Maybe we need to have faith. Maybe we need to recognize that fear is not faith. Maybe we need to be able to learn how to sit comfortably within ourselves. Maybe we need to process the emotional trauma that we have not looked at, that we have not addressed, that's coming up, that's driving the anxiety and the fear and the I'm not enough and all the other subconscious, biases and all the stories and the lies that we've been told that keep us stuck, keep us sick, keep us fat, keep us nearly dead. Maybe we need to do that instead. So before we wrap up here, I just want to cover some of the research findings that backed what we discussed. So this quick fix mentality, a study by Coulter and Willis 2007, found that patients increasingly expect rapid results in healthcare, which leads to frustration with long-term treatment plans. So again, I didn't make the rules. Treatment plans tend to be progressive. You start low, go slow. That's kind of how we're taught, mostly because there's so many different variables and blind spots. And if we go fast, naturally you can miss things, you can harm people. So we have to go low and slow. And that is for your own safety. That is for your own health. That is for your own benefit. I know that is not what conventional medicine teaches you. Conventional medicine teaches you have a symptom, you're going to fix the symptom. Well, that is not how it works. We're not treating symptoms. Remember, you came to us for root cause medicine. So here we are. Health anxiety and impulsive decision making, Babavesky et al., hopefully I pronounced it properly, 2016, showed that individuals with health anxiety tend to switch treatments frequently, driven by immediate need for reassurance. So again, that nurturance I was talking about, that mother hunger that I was talking about, that need for comfort, right? So again, this is not about comfort. This is about healing. So we have to look at the behaviors that are driving that. So your mental health, right? Your unconscious, subconscious, primitive, your emotions that have not been processed from, your subconscious mind, your childhood, etc. All of that needs to be, worked on in a holistic treatment plan. So it's not just what supplement I take, what lab test I do, what, or maybe I do this, or maybe I do that, or what do you think about this, or what do you think about that? That's not how this works, because You are literally set in a foundation, and then that foundation is progressive, and you're going to get results if you follow that progression, that treatment plan step by step, because it's designed to build. The skills are designed to build. You're learning new skills, new habits, new behaviors. Your biochemistry is slowly changing every day. Your biochemistry doesn't just go from 0 to 60. Like every single day, you're either building health or building disease. Your cells are either thanking you or hating you every single day. So which one is it? Hello, my cough is hating me. My lungs are hating me, right? Because, I'm not doing an expectorant. I'm not, really staying consistent, with taking supplements. A gas, I know. I take them, I get a little bit better. I stop taking them. I know it's horrible. I even know better. But guess what? I'm not going to a provider saying, you're wrong, you're bad, fix this, fix that. No, I'm sitting with my insanity of knowing what to do, having the things to do them, and not doing them consistently. For what reason? Only I can sit with and understand, right? And so we're all indoctrinated in symptom chasing. So I'm not going to sit here and say I'm a sits above and I'm, some guru. I'm no guru, right? I'm a fallible human being just like you, who is trying to figure this thing out, who just has a little bit more education, a little bit more training, and a little bit more failures in this field than you, like that. Let's be real. I've failed I've failed up, down, left, right. I don't think I found a person that can fail as much as I failed in this one area. Like that's the thing. I didn't jump around. I didn't have an awakening mid-career in something else. And I don't, I'm not trying to diminish or erase, but I literally was born into this. I knew I was supposed to do this. I resented having to do this. And my battle was all internal of, me feeling like my life had been hijacked and me having to self-actualize, and so that's where my, a lot of my resentment, lies. So anywho, the last one study that I wanted to bring up is misinformation. So a 2020 survey by Pew Research highlighted that the rise of misinformation in healthcare, with 72%, that's a lot, of adults saying they'd encountered conflicting health advice online. Not a surprise, right? So I'm sure after this video, there'll be another video that'll say something totally different, and everybody has a superiority bias. So everybody's approaching it like they are the big I am in the field. And let me tell you, after, 6 degrees in natural health care, 1 degree in business, so 7 degrees total, I can tell you that none of us have all the answers, and we have certain pieces of the answer. But if you're truly living in a holistic world, holistic lifestyle, you recognize that you are only one individual. And if I help teach this next person to wake up, and this next person wake up, and if everybody wakes up consciously and starts doing their part and doing their work, we can collectively shift, but we can't shift individually. We are not individually living on our own planets. And I think we only have like 9 or 10 planets. So unless we're starting to colonize moons, we're going to have to eventually find a happy medium where we can all live together. I know that sounds absolutely horrendous, and I apologize for those that are offended, but we are going to have to find a certain breaking point where we're going to have to find peace. We're going to have to find kindness. We're going to have to see each other's differences. I know it's going to be very difficult for many of you, but the reality exists that we can't just keep surviving and living in this high anxiety, trauma response, Chicken Little, running around. I mean, I guess you can if you want to stay in the quick fix. If you don't, and you found my channel, definitely like, share, subscribe, comment. Yeah. And so we had a good talk. I'm excited. So definitely check out many webinars. I did submit actually an article about this to my editor at Psych Today. So hopefully she picks it up. And if she does, I'll definitely post a link below so you can see more of the research around this topic. So kind of how I get topics is, people will be people, humans will be humaning, and then I just get curious, and then I go from there. So thanks so much for entertaining my curiosity today, and again, like, share, subscribe for more.